Following years of cohesive publishing, Marvel Comics is finally ready to sunset the X-Men's Krakoan era during the Fall of X initiative. In recent chapters, readers have got to see the X-Men mount their first stages of their counter-assault against Orcus. My name is Oracle Brannock, and today, let's go ahead and preview X-Men issue 33 to see what surprising mutants our team of heroes are able to pull together. But before we get deeper into the video, I want to encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel. X-Men Assemble. If there were ever a time to rally the troops and take the fight to the enemy, it's now. Stand side by side with the X-Men as they head for their final stand. They can't stop all of us. X-Men 33 is still written by Gerry Duggan, featuring artwork from Joshua Cassara. We have colors from Romulo Fajardo Jr., letters from VC's Clayton Cowles, design from Tom Muller and Bowen. And the cover for the issue is also illustrated over from Joshua Cassara, featuring additional covers for Marte Gracia. Really love how this image showcases so many disparate X-Men characters that have been such a big piece of the Fall of X initiative in recent chapters of the X-Men's Krakoan era. I also really appreciate how Joshua Cassara is able to implement the symmetry in all of the disparate character personalities as well on the page here. I also want to extend a big thank you over to Adventures in Portace and preview some of the interesting opening pages for this series illustrated from Joshua Cassara. I really like this first page showcasing the character of Sebastian Shaw, who's had some interesting allegiances towards the Krakoan era. This page also nicely introduces his son Shinobi back into the narrative and has such an intriguing way to leverage these large personalities here. I also really love the scratchy aesthetic that Joshua Cassara's art implements in the issue. I think some of these scratchy lines do a great job accommodating the more sinister personality of the character of Sebastian Shaw here. One of the most surprising elements of X-Men 33 is the way that Gerry Duggan is able to shape up some of the cast and character locations in the issue. This one takes place in Madripoor, allowing for some of these disparate characters like Sebastian Shaw as well as Callisto to be featured within the narrative. Also, Gerry Duggan always does a great job keeping me guessing at what X-Men characters are going to be implemented towards the plot. These surprising character interactions between Callisto and Shadowkat, I think, showcase that Shadowkat and Callisto have a lot more in common than you might think during this era for our X-Men characters. Also, this page that we have up on the screen is so beautifully laid out over from Joshua Cassara, featuring Emma Frost kind of telepathically giving a state of the X-Men Union to some of our characters. Also, Gerry Duggan's scripting and Joshua Cassara's art beautifully uses this moment to render an interesting scene with violence where Wolverine is able to sneak down and take out some of these Orcus agents. Throughout X-Men, I think this series has always featured a really interesting approach to plotting, and in addition to some of the plot threads from Fall of the House of X being referenced a little bit later on in the issue, we also get some threads towards Uncanny Avengers referenced with the mysterious Captain Krakoa. I think this page of X-Men 33 is absolutely phenomenal, as the character of Wolverine is trying to get the drop on several of these Orcus agents. The way that Joshua Cassara is able to implement a really interesting page layout as well as some disparate negative space is so arresting. Also, later on in this sequence, Cassara also finds different ways to just recontextualize negative space and Wolverine's battle with these Orcus agents here. I've also been really impressed with the way that Gerry Duggan has been able to implement some of those plot threads from Fall of the House of X to make X-Men 33 feel like a more cohesive sister book to that series. Also, another element between Fall of the House of X as well as X-Men that is just absolutely fascinating is that sense of juxtaposition between the plot thread involving Dr. Gregor and the character of Cyclops. The way that this issue details and offers a few interesting tidbits towards the mysterious Sentinel City also does a wonderful job teasing the next direction and scope for the franchise. Finally, I don't want to give away how, but the reintroduction of some of the Latverian mutants as well as Doctor Doom in this issue, just had so much fascinating plotting and added an interesting element as well to shake up so much of the cast and location for this series as well. So at the end of the day here, I think this is a really phenomenal issue of X-Men, taking so many disparate plot threads and weaving them together to tell a really epic story in the final stage of the Krakoan era for Marvel's Mutants. Moving forward here, I hope there is a big and bombastic fight scene against Orcus in the weeks and months to come in titles like Fall of the House of X, as well as Marvel's current X-Men series proper. I want to know from you, what were some of your thoughts on the mysterious Sentinel City and the way that the plot thread with Cyclops is evolving? Also, what did you think of Emma Frost's speech, as well as the beautiful way that Joshua Cassara was able to implement some of the violence with the character of Wolverine? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for coming to check out our video review over on X-Men 33, and we'll be back to see how the Krakoan Age of Comics winds down. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.